So I like to
hmm
look at things from a human psychological level. Why do Calvinists need, and it's not just pastors, why does a Calvinist, somebody as a believer, hold to that position that completely changes the nature of God and changes the nature of the gospel in
hmm
favor of what you, I'm talking to a Calvinist now, in favor of what you need God to be?
hmm
Because you need, psychologically speaking, you need God to be everything and in control of everything. And he is at some level. I wouldn't deny that. Um, but it's how you think of it that makes all the difference in the world. And if you have a version of God that you need to hold on to, and therefore a stripped down version of who you are, created in God's image, you have an infantile theology. It just goes nowhere in
Well,
reality to me.
yeah, when Paul in First Corinthians 13, he said, "When I was a child, I spake as a child, thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things." And it sounded like what you were talking about with childhood is that there's a very intense reliance on external authorities and securities in childhood, and as you gain as you gain maturity, you should also gain proficiencies and capacities of your own. But Calvinism is a manifestation of not being able to outgrow that childish need for security.
Great way to put it. It's better than I've ever said it. So,
I got
yeah,
that from you. I thought I got
yeah,
that
well,
from you.
probably it's our synergy together. But yes, I mean, you don't grow out of that infantile place, and there's some sense in which we all. I've gotten to a point where I don't have heroes in my life or people that John MacArthur used to be. Certainly, Dr. Jack, that was a wonderful person that mentored me in my life in high school and college. I think the world of him. I think sitting down with him was somewhat similar to what it'd be like to sit down with Jesus. I mean, he was just a wonderful,
hmm
wonderful man. And John's sort of the other way around. John hates psychology. John hates psychology. He literally talks about that. And I almost went to work at the master's college in their psychology department, turned it down because I didn't think I could work for somebody that hated psychology when that's what I'm going to teach, right? So I turned that opportunity down. I was offered a position there, but but the reason that he hates psychology is because it has an inroad in how we think about things and how we're talking about them together right now.
hmm
And number one, and so it undercuts his dogma. And number two, he has to sustain some position that takes personhood out of people's personalities because God determines it all. So he can't have, if you believe there's a psychological dimension to life, you believe you've got some free choice in this world. You just
Well, at the
do.
same time as that, as the same time as he's adopting a position that strips everyone else of their responsibility, he is also the spokesman of the person who stripped them of their responsibility.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's like, see, he's like a conduit of the power to do that,
Yeah. Yeah.
like an access point.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it spreads and becomes destructive in his preaching, in his handling of relational issues in the church, his handling of that situation where somebody on his pastoral staff was abusing their kids and he believed them and didn't believe the wife because he has no psychological awareness.
hmm
He
hmm
just really doesn't. Um, and I'm not here to put John MacArthur down or put Calvinists down. I don't mean that. I'm not God, and I don't know the end. I think John's had a number of really powerful sermons in his life that I listened to. I always say if you want to listen to a series on the Beatitudes, go back to when he talked about it around the 1980s and find
hmm
it on Grace to You. And it's really powerful how he exegetes scripture. So I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus, but I'm equally pissed off that these giants that should be giants of biblical interpretation, like John Piper and John MacArthur and some of the younger theologians that are coming in their path, it sickens me now. It actually sickens me
Mm.
because I believe it's a different gospel.